Well, hello, Milan, and nice to meet you today. I'm so excited that you agreed to let me interview you for our group, the Think and Grow Rich study group. And just wanted to know a little bit more about you. I know that you have multiple things that you're doing in your neck of the woods. First of all, where are you at right now? And tell us a little bit about what you do.
Great. But Marilyn, thank you so much for this opportunity to share the knowledge. Thanks for having me. More than happy to share what happened and what's happening right now and to inspire some people and really get them to think and grow rich. Now,
Yay.
I'm all the way, there you go, all the way right now from South Africa. And we have built a multi-million dollar company based on these principles of Napoleon Hill's bestseller. I have a few copies right here. And as a result, what happened? Hey, the same book. Hey, perfect. Hey, well, you can't beat that. Let me just pull out mine from the shelf. I have several, but anyways, yeah, better, right? But let me tell you, as a result of applying these principles over a period of time, in fact, in about a year and a half, we literally built a multi-million dollar company, over 30,000 students that went through our workshops thanks to these principles. We did apply them in investing in real estate, property, and trading, but also I always like to say, once you understand these principles, you'll be able to apply them in your life, in your relationships, in any business you can imagine. So that's
That,
why we're here today to get you all started, right?
so did you already meet your wife before you knew these principles, or like how did you both learn it together?
So it was about a bit of a process. I mean, we met overseas. We worked in the US for many, many years anyway. So now we ended up, she's from South Africa. I'm originally from Serbia.
Okay.
And then when we met, we read different books, but somehow both of us, we read this particular book and like, hey, have you read this book? Yeah, I have. Oh, this book is awesome, right? But the thing, you know what, every single book out there, it doesn't really give you the solution, right? It gives you some insight and you say, this is a great book, but now what? What do I do next, right? And then you have to learn these principles and really study them and studying yourself in order to figure out what is it that you want to do, right? What do you really want? But like Bob Proctor would say, right?
That's right. So then your wife teaches with you? Is that what I saw on the websites? Or does
Correct.
you do something separate, or you're just always together with that?
So we started together, but we had different separate interests at the same time. So she's into property, real estate, and I'm also into property, but more leaning towards trading and forex and all these different things. I'm like a tech geek as well, and online businesses. That's kind of my specialty, and speaking as well. That you kind of build over a period of time. So we put these things together and build one company that teaches all these different programs below.
And then the same principles, like you said, because I noticed that you had Think and Grow Rich in the branding for the things that you do. So you are actually the like Think and Grow Rich person in your area, right?
In South Africa, yes, we bought a license. We partner up with Napoleon Hill Foundation from the US,
Nice.
and we are the exclusive owners of the right to teach these principles here in Africa, in different countries, but it's exclusively in South Africa. Oh,
That is, whoa, that is so wild and so cool. And for me, I feel like, I'm already kind of on this ride and I've been studying different things. I'm sure you probably read the Wallace Waddles stuff,
yes, yes, yes.
right? I think I started there. And then just recently, like I've had the book for a while, but I had, this book. And then I saw that most of the Napoleon Hill Foundation people recommend this one because this is the original text, correct?
Correct.
And so I know that for people watching this and who's going to be picking up the book, I don't know if it matters which version they get, but I think I'm going to be leading the study group with this one, if that makes sense.
It's pretty good. I mean, based on my experience, the different versions down the line, as you already know, there's about from 13 to 17 principles. It's pretty much the same thing, but I think the row that you have as well, that I have as well,
Mhm.
that's what initial teachings of Napoleon Hills are, and they will get much more value from that, the raw version of the book.
The raw version, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So I wanted to introduce you to my kind of my own personal philosophy because when I was thinking of how to teach it, I got to approach it with my own perspective, right? And like how I've done different things in my life. And it's really all the stuff that I've learned. And actually, I think we started with The Secret. So my husband actually knew more things than I did when we first met. And I was kind of like this helpless, negative thinker. I thought I was a positive person, but then when he told me things like, you need to watch your thoughts, I was like, what kind of a pickup line is this? Like,
It worked. It worked, right?
it worked. It worked. Because I mean, he was saying things differently than anyone else, right? I mean, you hear normal conversation, or then you hear the conversation of someone who's read these types of things, and then
Right.
they speak on a different level. And so I was very intrigued, and he said, well, you probably should start with watching The Secret. And so I was like, oh no, what kind of cult is he, getting me into? Like, he's gonna brainwash me. Well,
Right.
thank goodness he did, because it's really like the best kind of brainwashing, right? Like, you tend to say, I'm not gonna, think negatively anymore. Like, you really start noticing what thoughts come into your brain. And if this is like you're studying Think and Grow Rich, then it's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, that starts there. It has to start there. So you're not looking for someone to save you anymore. You're kind of saying, how can I clean up in here in order to move forward? So then
Correct.
I discovered, I've been doing that for several years. We met in 2008 and started a business where we incorporated all the different like talents and stuff that I was into. We call it Art Inspired. And so we taught, self-development things, but also like dance. I love to ballroom dance. And so I also have a corporate photography business where I do corporate headshots and food photography.
Right.
So I mentor people like that. And so, year after year, there's different people that come through and say, how do you achieve certain things? And I said, well, you got to read all these books, first of all. But then I was thinking, like, what if I can succinctly create like a chart or a process so that people can follow something step by step? So 2017, I was thinking, and we were on a road trip, and we were just chatting, my husband and I, and the word dream was like in my brain. And I was thinking, okay, wait a minute. So there's all these steps, and how does it formulate into that word? And what I discovered was, if you do things in a certain way, in a certain order, and dream stands for, first you got to find your direction, then you have to relinquish a bunch of stuff, negative thinking and all that stuff, before you can work on your efficiencies. So you got to plan things out, be efficient before you take the action. And then the action has to be virtuous, kind of like what they talk about in the book. And then you achieve momentum. And so there's kind of like a shortened version. And so when I'm teaching this in the study group, I'm going to be applying those things along with it. What do you think of that? Like, do you think that that fits in the right pathway?
I think makes a lot of sense. I mean, everything starts first with a dream. You want something, but you at first you don't really know how to get there, and then eventually figure out what do I need to do to get there to achieve my dreams, right? And then you figure it out yourself. I mean, I have to have some bit of a path, and then eventually, once I get to that point, what is next for me? Because never-ending story. There's always another dream, and then you get that momentum. Okay, now I'm doing it. What is next for me, right? So makes a lot of sense. I'm really happy you did that. So I'm sure a lot of people will see a lot of value.
Yay. So for you, like, what did you have to give up? Like, what did you have to relinquish when you first decided, okay, I'm going to do this thing? What was some of the hardest things for you to do?
Right. There's always that thing. I was just talking to my wife earlier. In order to become successful, what kind of person you need to become, right? You always starting from some point, you have your own limiting beliefs, and then you want to be that successful story. But what do I have to do differently? Where do I really want to go, and how to get there? So for me, was our time mainly time, and it's a bit of a process of learning and overcoming your ego. Okay, I know this much. Did this really work for me? Not really. So I have to do something different, and what is that different that I have to do? Let me see how I can apply these principles. And one at a time, everything kind of fit into pieces. Like I realized first thing first, I just can't do this by myself because you have very limited knowledge. You can read all the books in the world, but you're not an expert, right? You might have some specialized knowledge like we had in trading and property, but let's say we don't really know how to run a business. We don't know much about marketing. So who do we need to have in our mastermind group to help us? People who are already experts, much more successful than we were at that point of time. And I think that was the crucial point of building and growing our business to tremendous heights. Because when you have someone more successful than you, who's more skilled, who's part of your network, you just keep learning and say, okay, good, I can help you. Let's help each other. I have the knowledge. I can speak, I can teach, and you can bring some leads, bring some marketing, and we can also build the business. Who do we need to have? I think that was the thing. What we're really giving up is you put your ego aside and you say to yourself, okay, I need help. I can't do this by myself. Either I'm going to quit or do something else, but it's very, very difficult. Like we all know, you try something new, something different, it just very difficult, it just doesn't happen. And most people, like you already know, would eventually quit because it's just too hard.
Right.
Just too hard.
I think
Right.
that
But once you learn,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Learn again from the book is like make a decision what you want to do in life and stick to it. Literally stick. There's a path, there's a plan. You want to get there to that next point. How do I get there and what do I have to do to get there? There will be obstacles. You're going to fail many times. It will be very hard. You will wish to quit many times. But in those moments, I always like to say to my students, look, embrace it. It's happening. It's hard. But now the very important question is, what do I do differently? I'm not going to quit. There's no ways. How do I go around it? Let me find a solution, make things the better, and then just go to another obstacle because another one it's coming as well.
That's right. So I equate it to like a wave that keeps going up. There's going to be moments of what retrograde that's going to
Right?
pull you back before you slingshot to the next
100%.
level. And I think like you, and I mentioned this to other people, said, you know, that like these individuals who really get it, who are now like in the stratosphere, um, you actually enjoy when there's a retrograde in your life. Like you
Right.
actually go, oh, this is the time when I'm supposed to re-innovate, and then that propels you forward. Whereas other people get scared, right?
Right. I mean, look, how are you going to know to make your business and take it another place? Something bad happened. Let's say you have a bad client or something happens, some obstacle, marketing, you don't get people as many. And they're like, okay, what can we do differently next time? It's happening. How can I make it better next time? Because like a lot of people always like to learn from different great people. You probably know some of them as well. Like Damon Shark from the Shark Tank, right? One of my favorites. He would say, look, you fail, doesn't matter. You fail next time, fail better.
Ooh,
Fail more and more so that you can learn and grow more. It's all about the growth and just pick yourself up to the next level. And like you said, it is a journey. It's never about the destination. It's about where do you want to go, how far you can grow yourself as a person, as a business person, as a mother, as a father, right? To that next level, to be a better version of yourself than you were last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Just constantly growing. It's never ending story, literally.
right. Well, what does the word rich mean to you? Because if you're saying here, like, think and grow rich, like for you, I know it might mean different to other people, but for you,
Right.
what's it mean?
Right. Interesting enough, I'm always getting that question. Okay, you're wealthy and successful. What does it really mean to us? Like, doesn't really mean like you said for you. For me, initially it was all about the money, but then you realize, okay, now you get the money, but gotta be more than that. Gotta be more than that. And by rich, I always like to say it's so much more. It's the freedom. It's about you not worrying about the money. It's about you enjoying that pursuit of building it, of pursuit of having enough time with your family, or really not going for a travel to the US, whenever you want to go, for instance. It is overseas for us, but hey, not worrying about the income, not worrying about the profit, worrying about how do I enjoy life? How do I enjoy these precious moments with the family, with the friends that tomorrow is not going to be there? Look, you can always make more money. You
Mhm.
can never get back your time. For
Oh,
me, that really is rich, right? I mean, comfortable life is there. Yeah, we all want to have a great house and a car and different things, but there's so much more than that. So much more. I'm sure you already know. I mean, we all different people because once you get to that point, you have your dream car. After a couple of months, it is a car. It is just a car. I want to buy another car. Even that big house becomes a bit small. You kind of get tired of it. You want to do something different. But I think once you find what do you really want, what really fulfills you, giving back, building something, growing. For me, it's all about growth and creation and changing lives and sharing the knowledge. And then that really fulfills you. That's being rich. You have a lot of people who can find your story inspiring and that's what this really is, right?
I love that. So when you were growing up in Serbia, like how old were you when you moved away? Like were you there the whole time or did you move around when you were a kid as well?
Well, I was born and raised there, and my dad was an electrician working for 35 years of his life, and all these things about retiring happily ever after just didn't work for him. And he realized soon after that hey, this amount of money I'm making in retirement is just not enough to cover a monthly life expense. That this is pretty much universal. I mean, it's Serbia, USA. When you retire, just not making the same amount of money. And I always wanted to see is there more than just getting a job, saving, and maybe buying a house or something like that. So So I made a decision to leave my country in about 14, 15 years ago, 2005, August 12. I remember always, August 12, 2004, actually. I just made a mistake there. But that was the moment I left without even knowing what's going to happen next. But that's where later on, once I started studying the book, okay, I realized I had it all along. And most people have that without even realizing. There's that one thing you wanted to do so badly, and sometimes you can't even explain it, but you feel, hey, I have to do this no matter what, right? I'm sure most people have been there in that situation. Everybody said, don't do it, but it doesn't matter. It's not their path, it's yours, right? And I followed my path. I felt I was in the right direction and eventually made it. It didn't happen overnight. Made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money on the path, but it was always that mindset, which was, okay, I'm failing, so I'm going to do it better. I'm going to go again and again and again until I make it better, until I really reach that success. And I think eventually, once you realize it's in about not quitting, it's in about persistence. You want something, you go there and get it. There's no other way. Nobody's going to do it for you but yourself. You have to go there. You have to try everything you can. People are going to say, don't do it. Doesn't matter. It's not their path. It's yours. And you have to stick to your path because that's the only way you're going to be in alignment with yourself and your what you really feel about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, you just said the word alignment, and you were talking about persistence, which is very like egocentric, like your kind of like confidence has to be big enough to stick to something. But then when
Right.
you're saying alignment, do you have like a bigger sense of like intuition or inspiration? Like, what's your spiritual sense about all of the stuff that you're studying?
Right. I mean, interesting enough, thanks for asking that question. It was for me always about finding that balance. What do I really want in that point of time, right? And how do I get there? It's about finding a thin balance between, okay, now I'm happy, and what is the next level of happiness? Okay, now I have a car, what is next? Now I have a business, what is next? And that alignment is for me, it's in about doing something because then I'm in alignment about doing something. The moment I feel bored, if I'm doing nothing, like, okay, something's happening. I have to do something different. I have to talk to more people and share the knowledge, right?
Right.
It's different for all of us. I mean, spiritually, I love to meditate and I love the ideas. Look, you have to go back to yourself and you have to retrospect where you're coming from. Past is the past to remind you and to shape you to be who you are today, right? To learn from it. But a lot of people, and a lot of people already know that already. They're stuck in the past for a long time. You know, I grew up in poverty. My government didn't give me this and this and that. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to do this for you, right, but yourself. What matters is where you're right now and where you're heading and how you're going to get there. That's very important. Having that plan, again, going back to the book, very structured plan. Because it's good to have a dream, but if you don't have a plan, a clear plan how to get there, never going to happen.
That's right. That's right. And so when you're meditating, like, how do you find that to be like kind of like one of the tools that you use? So how often do you meditate, and then what are you seeking when you're meditating?
Right. Now, funny that you mentioned the movie, The Secret. I actually met quite a few folks. One of my executive coaches, Lisa Nichols. You probably know her from The Secret.
Yeah, Lisa's
So in terms of meditation, I just pretty much watch The Secret, and somehow every time I've seen the movie, there's always something great happen to me. It's all about visualizing where are you right now, bringing those feelings, those great emotions in your life that makes you happy, and being thankful for what you have, right? Like I'm thankful for the health of my family and my friends because they're still there for my parents, right? For having this house and the car, I can go and travel. But let me imagine more using that imagination. One of the great principles, what do I want more? I want to see myself on the big stage, sharing with more people and changing more lives. And then you kind of start attracting like-minded people, like law of attraction, if you believe in it. It really works. Powerful. I met Bob Proctor at some point, actually, in the movie premiere we were discussing earlier. And he was all about, it is what it is, law of attraction. You attract what you put in your mind, right? Meditate about what you really want and feel it. Like you want that car, sit on it, feel that new smell of that new car, right? And eventually, when you get it, you already have it, right? You didn't even know you already have it in your possession, right?
Do
Funny
you
enough.
do y'all ever do visualization together as a family?
Well, my wife and I, we watch The Secret. I always go back to that movie. We do that together. We have two little babies. They're about 2.5 years old. They're not really in the stage of meditating, just more of a destroying thing.
Are
But
they
my
twins?
wife
Yeah,
said, yes, they are twins, boy and a girl.
I have
Boy and a girl.
4-year-old twins, identical boys.
Wow, there you go.
I know about twin life. It's like unique and crazy at the same time. So
You must be really strong. They want you to pick them up at the same time, right?
yeah.
Crazy.
Or they go this way.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
but that's so funny that you guys periodically watch it together. And then, my husband used it as a date kind of night.
Perfect. Perfect. I mean, it works for us. It's never enough. I mean, usually once a year we watch that, and we take some time off to go and travel, recuperate, and talk about the future and different dreams. How do we build this business to the next level? Because essentially, it's never ending story, right?
Right.
It's never like, okay, I'm done now. I'm like 60 years old and I'm done and my business is running. No, that's not what really is. It's about, okay, I'm 80. What do I do next? I'm like 90. Where can I go and travel? How can I help more people? So it's all about constant understanding that. And this is what most people, I believe, they don't get it right. They will say, I just wish I have this amount of money so I don't have to do anything for the rest of my life. Without realizing it's never going to happen. You will wish to do something. And by the time you become successful and wealthy, funny enough, you created already a habit to build more because you've been doing something constantly. Okay, I just can't stop anymore, right? And
Right.
once you understand that, okay, let me do what can I do different? Let me just build it and enjoy the ride. Right?
So let's say, you're into trading and things like that. There's a lot of people that say, oh, trading, you're just kind of like playing with your money. Like, how could you say you can apply like Think and Grow Rich in an area where it seems so volatile and there's really no structure or something like that? Like people always say that. Especially they say it to my husband because they're like, what are you doing? We don't understand that you're into trading. So how do you answer those kinds of questions and why it is tethered to like this philosophy?
Right. The first thing first is switch off the YouTube. A lot of people say, I can do this by myself. Let me go into YouTube, learn from different traders. It's never going to work. And that's where the true power comes in. Okay, who do I need to have to take me to the next level? Who are the successful traders to learn from? Now, the problem is out there, there's so many people that everybody say, I'm a successful trader, buy my strategy, buy my thing. But what we done specifically, strategically in our company, we wanted to bring top traders, top property, real estate investors in the country to teach people. They have to be top. They have to have proven record. And then when you have people like this in your team, then you have the right people. There's no like, okay, is this the right person or not? They have to be the top traders in the country. So I used my experience, sit down with the top traders, and we created a program. It's called Unlimited Trading. But it is possible, understanding first that, hey, you can't do this by yourself. You need to find someone to teach you and show you really what really works. What really worked for several decades that can really work in your case as well. Find someone to teach you, having a mentor, right? In your mastermind alliance group, who are these people to take you to the next level? But also like-minded people, right? People with the same mindset to take you to the next level. Because if you're surrounded with people who are losing money in trading, hey, don't go into trading. People losing money. I lost money. Okay, maybe I shouldn't even do it, right? I'm already afraid, right? But it doesn't matter. The reason why people losing money is because either they're trying to do this themselves or they're risking too much. If people are risking only 1% to 2%, and first rule of trading, I always like to say, don't ever invest the money that you cannot afford to lose, right? Put a little bit. I mean, what I learned from Tony Robbins, everybody knows Tony Robbins, big guy, right? Massive. He would say, invest 5% of your monthly income if you have into something, trading or whatever that is, 5% every single month. And every single month, just add on top of it. Your account is growing. You're still risking 1% to 2% a month. And you can sleep well knowing that, hey, even if I lose that money, that 5%, it shouldn't affect me as much. But, a lot of people want get rich quick thing. They put a lot of money, they get that money back, then they put their entire savings, they can't even sleep anymore. That's very, very difficult. So invest the money you cannot afford to lose. And that I always find is the right way. Because out of 100 trades, you're going to have losses, but you're going to have more winnings than losses. And that's what matters at the end of the day.
Right. So it's that balancing act, win versus losses. And you can probably, like when I was listening to you, and let's say people aren't into trading, but they're into entrepreneurship, it's the same thing, right? So when you, I guess maybe give people some advice to what to invest in their businesses, do you feel it's the same kind of ratio that they shouldn't just put all like their savings into like one business?
Now, look, what I learned is that the average millionaire have about 7 to 10 different income streams, right? So we should build as many as possible until we kind of figure it out. What is that one thing I'm really passionate about? What is my burning desire? Because stay in one industry for a long enough time, and you will find out what's missing in that industry, how to solve some different problems, right? You see, I was involved in a different previous company with property and trading, and we just didn't have much control over it. It's like, okay, we can do this so much better. We can do this so much better, but we didn't have much knowledge about building a business. Now, there's a bit of a different story I would like to say in terms of building your own business. There's nothing wrong with involving investors to invest in your idea, if you can back up that idea with some different facts and projections as well. So we also needed, when we started a company, we needed investors. We didn't know how, but we had a bit of a proven model from the previous company, and we knew how we can make it better and scale it to the next level. So when investor, what we really normally would look for is like, okay, show me the point, show me the results, and show me where you're heading, how you're going to get there, basically. Ideas are great, but if you don't really know how to get there, if you have a product or service or something, if it's not really scalable, a lot of investors are not really willing to invest. Okay, it's good you have a product, but the moment something happened to you, your business goes down, it's not going to work, it's not scalable, right? So I always say, look, different businesses are good, but eventually you need to find that one that will be your primary one, like umbrella that you're really passionate about. And I always like to say, if you're going to be doing something that you can even afford not even to be paid for, then you find your real niche, right? You can do it all the time. You're never going to work for the rest of your life. The businesses are really good to build them, but we all know that about 85% of businesses would fail in the first 3 years because clearly they don't have a clear path and projection, clear structure in place, right?
Have you ever heard of the word Iki Guy?
Iki Guy?
Iki Guy.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so here, I'm teaching you something new. Yay. Okay, so it's a Japanese word, and it's a structure that they created to help you find your purpose. And there's 4 elements to it, and 4 main elements is, do you love it? Are you good at it? Does the world need it? And can you get paid for it?
Right.
And then where it kind of meets in the middle, then that's what they call the Ikigai.
Right. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, let me tell you, I went to the program online, Napoleon Hill's Foundation, where you get certified online. So we did that, my wife and I. It takes about 17 weeks to study one principle per week. And that gives us a bit of a understanding what do we really want to have in life and how to get to that next level. So I can highly recommend to a lot of you folks who are watching this to go and try that. It's an online program, basically, not even that expensive, basically. But in 17 weeks, you really have this purpose and understanding what you're going to do in your life by learning about yourself and what is that true passion of yours, right?
That's excellent. And that's not 17 years, that's 17 weeks.
17 weeks, one principle. Yeah, there you go. I mean, 17. Some people they take 17 years to learn what they don't want to do in life. And then, I mean, look, I'm in my 40s and I just warming up right now. I just figured, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But it took me so many years to figure it out, right? Trying to find out what am I really want to do. I have different interests. I want to do this and this and that. But what is that I really want to do? And I realized, okay, I love speaking. I love helping people. I love building businesses. I love doing everything at the same time, but through the same pattern, the way, right?
Right. Well, this has been amazing. And do you have any final thoughts that you want to add to help people out who are studying all of this?
Book is powerful, but book can teach you to take action. I always like to say, taking action, whatever that is, even that one step of doing something will take you ahead of everybody else who will never do anything. It's just the way it is, right? Go ahead, try it, do it by yourself, but realize that everybody in life, we do need help to take this business, whatever it is, to that next level. And once you understand it, okay, this is where I am. How do I reach that next level? Who do I need to have to take me to this next level? In the business, in personal life, whatever it is, there's nothing wrong with asking for help, but preferably people who've been there before, more successful than you. They're the ones to take you next level, to stretch your mind. And we all know, folks, once you stretch your mind to that next level, your mind can never go back where it was before. So keep growing, keep thinking and growing rich.
That's excellent. Well, thanks for your time. We really do appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it. And then we're going to share your links in the group too, so that they can get in touch with you, or if they're close by in South Africa, definitely jump in on a program with you.
Anytime.
Right?
Thank you so much for having me. I'll be more than happy to share any more knowledge. If you guys shot me a message, I'm part of the group. Thank you so much for inviting. We know each other for a couple of days only, so that's great. This is a mastermind alliance. So That is great. I'll be in San Diego and LA in a couple of weeks from now. So I'm gonna do the interview with Napoleon Hill
Ah,
Foundation as well. So that'll be great. So I'll be close to you guys, close enough.
nice. Do you ever go to the East Coast of the United States? Do you
We
ever?
will be in New York as well at some
Okay.
point during these couple of weeks of our journey. San Diego, New York, Los Angeles, Delaware as well. So we're gonna
Is
have
that the
different.
tour? Are you on the tour?
More of a business and pleasure. My wife and I, we meet different friends and family, but also we've been invited for different interviews and different things as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I know that they have a tour right now that they're doing throughout
Yes.
the country.
That was the movie Think and Rich, The Legacy. I was in the movie premiere. Oh, I got to show you something if you have
Yeah,
time.
show it to us.
This was from the movie premiere, Think and Rich, The Legacy, 2 years back when all the guys involved, we have directors John Shinn, Scott Servine, and other guys who signed the book for me. That's when I met Bob Proctor and Barbara Corcoran and other powerful people. So yeah, that's where the journey started. Pretty much that's when we started a company after that, and it's just booming. And I wish you all the best, all of you guys. This is a great platform. You have a great host,
Oh,
and everything starts with a dream.
right.
And now let's see how we're gonna get to that next point of making that dream becoming a reality.
That's exactly right. Well, thanks again. We'll see you in the group.
Pleasure. Cheers, guys. All the best. Bye bye.